Currently, more than 17,000 pieces.
Yeah.
And the first model that you bought it from me?
The entire history of the hobby.
¿Estás preparado para irnos?
Estoy con una contractura maravillosa, pero sí estoy preparado para irnos. ¿Empiezo ya? Hello guys, we are here in Barajas in Madrid, Spain, and this is the new adventure. So I'm going to meet the biggest collector of miniatures in the world. So we are going to Las Vegas. I was there last year doing some seminars, LVO, which one they invite me to go there. And now is the moment to go with the main collector to his house to see the museum. So I hope you like the video and see you then.
Buy your tickets in 4 minutes.
Less than 20 minutes.
Sí. ¿Y ustedes?
Español.
España, yo me imaginaba.
El
Ahí en la
acento.
mano derecha, ¿ok?
Vale, gracias.
Granite teeth capped with snow and ice.
Welcome to Las Vegas. So we are here in Velayos. So this is the second step of our trip. So I'm super excited to enjoy Las Vegas because the previous trip I couldn't enjoy the night. So this is the moment to have fun with Las Vegas. So not everything will be just painting miniatures. We have to enjoy these kind of places. So came with us to discover the next step.
Thank you very much.
You shot it. He said I went to a whole lot of kick. I agree with the same.
This is the rain for the
It's
campaign?
supposed to be it's supposed to be a wine room. We don't drink, so we converted it a long time.
Ah,
So yes, you'll see a lot of miniatures here that aren't. They're game quality. They're for a D&D game. This stuff on the shelf, that's collector stuff. This is a lot of the oldest D&D stuff. A lot of these characters are very old. They were in a lot of D&D campaigns. So
Do you know
a number
more?
of these characters have died many, many times.
do you know how many years the model
Yeah,
has?
this started. We just looked at when the campaign started. It's 1980, so it's the same campaign.
1980s.
1980 was the first adventure one. We had the sheet in the other room. 400 and some adventures now. Same people, same campaign continuing. 45 years and counting.
45 years.
Yeah. No, the people ask me, I could definitely probably get about the first 100, but they're going to be, it's very hard to know the first one.
I can imagine.
Many of these are a lot of these are from definitely 81, 82, 83. So companies like Grenadier, Minifigs.
Have you painted one of these models? At least one?
I've painted probably a lot of these. The last of my painting is probably early 80s, probably 82, 83. It's probably. Then I quickly decided to get people to paint them for me. Oh no, I have not painted since.
Not yet.
And I never seriously did it. I did it just so they would be painted for the game. It wasn't like they were works of art.
Do you have more models inside of the fridge or something like that?
We could actually use the room.
Maybe you need more room.
That's a good idea.
When do you have the plan to open the museum?
Opening the museum and getting these figures into it is different things. We plan to get these figures over to the museum pretty quick.
Okay, and then
That's soon, but then we have to build display cases, get stuff cataloged, get stuff to, get it designed.
Okay.
And there's a workshop, retail store, lobby, gaming rooms. theater.
Yeah, you told me the theater.
Yeah, well, you'll see it. You have a picture when it was just, I think, a barrel.
I was there at the beginning of everything.
Wait till you see what it looks like now. We'll take a little tour.
It's interesting that I'm watching the models and sometimes some of the models pop up in the middle of you.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember this section.
Stuff is everywhere, but about half of it's here and the rest of it's...
We were talking several times about this section last time. I remember, so you don't have to talk more about her. She's really incredible. So if you have to say that you are fan for something, you will say D&D instead of Warhammer or other kind
I
of
definitely
football?
came from a D&D side.
D&D.
Warhammer is pretty new to me. We had Warhammer pieces a lot of times when I would use them in a D&D game. Like I would get, the army is a lizard men, what I could use in a D&D game. Now, of course, in later years, now I've become much more familiar and we have a lot of Warhammer items. But yes, I come from the D&D side. Yes, and see, since they use silicone, there's a little depth of skin, like real skin. You can see through it a little bit. This is Queen Studio. This is in China. They specialize in this stuff.
Do you have another room with more models, right?
Oh, yes. We have. Light up, but to my left.
Do you like marble?
Oh, wow. What do you think? This is security.
Crop it.
Yeah.
And not the record.
This is security. Here we go. My nieces thought we needed it. And he hand sculpted the big deities at the end.
And the first model that you bought it from me?
Was it the lady playing the harp with all the little
Was the
creatures
first
around
one?
it? It's in the first few.
I remember it was one of the first ones, but I think it's not the first one.
And the last one?
The new one that I have in the box. All those are Slayer shorts from his workshop.
But these are from a movie Conan. This is.
Is a real one for the movie?
Jody Sampson got to make additional ones from the same casting. He made 3 for the movie.
Super
He made
nice.
the ones for the movie. He made it for several movies.
Between Lord of the Ring and D&D, the lore, which one is better for you, or which one you love more?
So much of D&D is.
D&D. So D&D is in your heart.
D&D just took all the lore from
Okay.
Lord of the Rings. That's what I'm saying. I've always been the dungeon master. I get killed every time. Every session I die, I lose every time. There's
More rooms.
This is what helps us. We have a huge diorama to fill up. 3,000 square feet. Terrain and crypts and dungeons and castles. And look at the furniture. Just tons and tons of furniture. And they all come to life at midnight. Night at the museum.
Do you think that this because I'm from Spain, I sleep siesta? Crop it.
Yeah.
So this is our almost the first time that we are here. It's not true because I was last year, you're right.
You were here last
But this one is something more special probably. And I would like to ask you about the idea from the museum. Why you decide to start with a museum?
Well, I already decided that the collection should be shared online. We had a database designed. That was ready to go, and then we were getting ready to build a large house. That we had the whole area designed for this, to display them and for our gamers to come and game and all that. And then I started to think, many people would come and ask to visit the collection, and only so many people could come through the house and look at the collection. It's very limited. I thought, if we really want this to be truly appreciated as an art form, maybe it's time we go ahead and present this as an art form should be presented in a museum.
Okay. You told me that you want to create probably one of the biggest dioramas. So could you tell us something about this crazy diorama that you have in your plan?
That's a key part of the museum. When we look at the museum, you'll see where it is. The museum's 25,000 square feet. 3,000 square feet of that is the diorama, is what the plan is. It's, one side of the diorama will be cities and castles, outdoor scenes, pyramids, docks and bays, a huge mountain that'll be sliced so you can see different levels, and similar with castle and city. The other side will be a traditional top-down dungeon like you'd see in Dungeons & Dragons. But many of the dungeons I've made, in fact, we'll be putting a lot of our 45-year D&D campaign into the storyline of the top-side-down diorama.
Okay. Do you have any plan to have Easter eggs inside of the?
Of course.
Okay.
How can we not? Yes. The nights you say neat. I mean, the bridge.
I will ask you about the artist. How do you feel working with artists? Is something easy, harder?
Very unique.
Very unique.
As strange it is, we really kind of started almost more in Russia, Italy, and moved across.
I have one collector from Africa, but not yet from India.
Yeah, India, there's got to be. India has such a rich, I mean, they have a billion people and a rich history of art.
Could you tell me that you could recognize the style from some painters or the style from some countries?
Yes, it's definitely country styles.
Okay, country style,
yes,
right?
Yes, UK stuff has its kind of own look. I'm sure others have identified the same thing. So, yeah, over time you start to tell, look, there's kind of schools of painting. A lot of the stuff from Poland has its own look. The stuff from Italy and Spain, similar.
So do you think that now you are a better painter just watching the models?
I still couldn't paint. From seeing them, no, I mean, what I would have to do is have some instruction. I mean, the end of my painting was just painting D&D, some D&D stuff for the game. There's some here, there's probably 50 or 60 that I painted.
And do you have any plan to paint one of
no, I haven't.
Model for
The only thing I've painted the last few years is when Chimera was here, we would usually do a group one where everyone painted part of it, and they'd let me paint the rocks on the base. That was my level of painting.
Okay, the rocks.
But it was fun. We do a group one every year. Put the year on it, and everybody paints part of it.
Do you have a goal with the collection? Do you have in mind like, hey, I would like to collect, I don't know, you told me that you now currently more than 17,000 pieces.
Yeah.
Do you have like a number in your mind? Like, I would like to achieve at least 50,000.
No, there's not a number. It's just, I would say it's just collect.
Okay, so
I don't think people want a finite number.
Probably not. Probably not. So you don't have a plan like to finish in one moment. Do you want to collect and keep collecting models?
Yeah, I imagine it'll be a continuous effort. It'll be what we house and what we put in the museum and what we do with it. And
probably you will need more museums or more buildings.
Yeah, maybe so. 25,000 square feet is a pretty good start. Some days I think it's all going to fit, and some days I look around and go, we're going to rent our room. It all depends how we display it. How we have it here is not very nice at all. I mean, the larger cases are fine, but these tables were set up just to get overflow, waiting for the building to be done. So
incredible. Talking about the workshops and these kind of seminars, I remember that we met each other 1 year ago, and it was so funny because I was in LVO teaching there because they invited me to teach in a hobby seminar there, or a kind of a master class, or I can't remember how they called it. But it was funny because I saw like your vendor or your area, your desk, with a banner with all the teachers with different dates that they will come for the workshops. And someone, you or someone from your team, wrote my name with just a pen, like Sergio Calvo, coming soon. So
to be determined.
Yeah, without asking me before or nothing. I was like, okay. So I'm 1 year or 1 year and a half, I'm here. Yeah, perfectly.
See?
Perfectly.
That's how we do it. You build it, they will come.
Exactly. So you have a plan in your mind and go ahead for your plan.
Yes.
But I remember that you started buying my models, collecting my models, almost 7 years ago. And could you remember which one was the first model you want to buy for me?
The guy in all metallic silver descending the staircase. It's a beautiful, beautiful metallic.
Thank you. I think probably this model was like a key in my career.
And where is it?
It's in Spain. And a collector habit. And was a funny story about this model, I can say here, was that one of my regular collectors, or a collector which one bought a lot of models from me, and I brought him the model before to post it online. And I said, hey, do you want this model? And he told me, oh Sergio, this is incredible, but will be the first time that I'm going to say no. As soon as I pick up my phone, I said, hey, I have this model. Do you want it? And the collector asked me why the first one didn't want it. And here you have like, I don't know, several asked me before than you.
Yes.
And it's like a key in my career. It's like a really unique piece that I painted as a box art, and several collectors continue asking me.
Did you ever find out why he said no?
Being honest, I don't know. He never answered me like I won't say no for a reason. It's just like, I love it, and before to this one, he bought like, more or less like you, like a lot of miniatures. He wrote me really quick, hey Sergio, I think I want it. And I told him,
it's already gone.
It's gone. Sorry, I told you. Okay, do you want to tell us something interesting, a funny story about all these years collecting models?
Oh, and we'll put this in a video, but actually where we came with Verco's vault. There are a number of vaults around because banks don't use them anymore. They just don't have safe deposit boxes. And these banks are just, please get this out of here, because they would like to put but nobody wants them because they're massive and they weigh too much. We could get an actual vault door from banks that would gladly give them up, but to haul them, they're huge, and then you would have to actually rebuild a structure just to mount the doors. They're several tons. I mean, they're definitely just do a nice simulated one. That also gives us the freedom to do something kind of dwarven, sort of World of Warcraft, like they're available. They're just impossible to move and put.
I've seen that you bought some models from some of my collectors too, that I found it here. Like, oh,
Yes.
I painted this model like 9 years ago.
Yes.
I was really surprised. And you have my first and probably one of my unique models that I sculpted for myself and I've painted for myself, like a really original model. I would like to find it in your collection and show it, because it's something that I did like 10 years ago, probably.
So that was one of the ones from the collection?
Yeah, it's the
French
bust
collection?
from Gears of War. Yeah, it's from, I don't know if I should say his name. I prefer to don't say it. It's from France.
Okay.
So he's a really nice friend and collector.
Oh, we've had that. I remember we showed a figure to Ben Comet
Yep.
that it was his, and he looked at it and goes, no, it's not mine. Then he looked at it again, and then again, and he picks it up.
Like,
Okay, yes it is. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
like the first denial was, no, that's not mine. And then it's like slowly, like, yes, it's mine.
If you have to say a size for the models, which one are more interesting for you, or you like them more? The small ones, like the typical people say 28 millimeters, or something bigger?
Well, it was very hard to move me from 28.
Really?
The guys at Pegasus and Chimera, they were the ones that really kind of convinced me to.
So should I paint more 28?
No, this is how it started, because it was D&D centric. It was for my game. The whole
Yeah, makes
collection was for the game. And at first, when they showed me these, I literally said, what am I supposed to use them for? And I would find ways to use them in the game as giants or something. If I was 75 millimeter, if it worked as a frost giant or a fire giant, I would use it, or a troll. And then they started showing me this really nice stuff. Then I became acquainted with true kind of box art, that quality.
So thank you very much for this opportunity to be part of this. It's something that I appreciate a lot. Thank you. So staying here in your house, staying watching this collection, being part of the collection. So it's a unique opportunity. So thank you so much for your time, for all your effort, and for your words and support and everything. I think what you are doing for the community is incredible, is huge. And probably in the future, some people will think about miniatures as a new kind of art, instead of as a kind of toys or something similar.
That's our hope, is appreciated as art. That's what we think the museum is about.
So thank you so much, and I hope be part of this during a lot of years.
Yes, I sure hope so.
Hello guys, so now we are in the Velayos buffet. So I took some ribs, some veggies, and this is a really nice experience. So I'm super excited to stay here eating this incredible food.
are doing right now?
Today we are preparing the miniatures for a new painting workshop in Las Vegas. So Berkos Vault invited us to teach here. And what we are doing, you and me, is trying to prepare all the models and assemble them. So before the workshop, I have to do all these things with all the miniatures. So 16 models I have to assemble. And before to assemble, I need to just sand it, glue it, assemble everything, fix some gaps and all that stuff like you will do in your own model. But in this case, with 16.
How long have you been in the industry of the miniatures?
Oof. Are you talking about professional or just in the hobby?
Just in the hobby.
Just in the hobby, I could say that probably I grew up with the hobby. So I joined to this community, to the hobby, before that I'm a teenager, I think with 10 or 11 years old. I remember that I was in the theaters watching Lord of the Rings. Games Workshop released the rights of the Lord of the Rings and they create miniatures. I remember the first miniature I assembled and I painted and I have it at home. So I continue having my first miniature, which one was, in that moment was a Space Marine from Nargol. Now the army is called Death Guard, so it was a Space Marine from the Death Guard. Which one I painted with a red color, not green as should be. It's one of my favorite because it was the beginning of everything. They call like a white metal, so usually they said like a lamb or other kind of materials, but they call like white metal. So at the end it's like something heavier, harder to sand it, is something that came from the past. Some people love it because the weight of the models are heavier, and some people love them for the collectors, and some people in general think that the quality is better, but nowadays the quality that you can get with the resin I think is the same or even better.
Did you meet Alan?
Alan, I met him maybe 10 years ago in France in an event. It was a really nice event. I met a lot of French sculptures there, which one they are incredible, the French sculptures. I met Patrick Masson, Valentin Sack, Alan Carrasco. Their style is super particular. I love it. In general, the French sculptures are incredible, all of them. Alan has something special for me. I love it a lot. I think he's increasing the concept art way more. It's like adding his own taste on the model. Talking about painting awards is something complex because it's a question that always I ask to myself if they are necessary in the industry or not. I've seen sometimes that the painting awards are really necessary for some people, not for others. Some people think that if you win an award, you are a great painter, and if you don't win it, you are not. Sometimes the painting competitions or the painting awards try to say which one is better than others. So what happened with this? That depending of the judges, maybe something is great or is better or is worse than others. I'm talking about really high levels with all the competitors or all the painters. It's really difficult, it's really tough, it's completely subjective, thinking which one is better than others. I'm focused on that the people can enjoy with the hobby. You can talk about your own style, you can create your own feelings, you can create something unique for yourself. But if you're trying to push yourself to be the best in the competition, sometimes you try to think about who will be the judge. And for example, if I'm going to Golden Demon, some people think that they have to do something different or painting with a different style than they usually have. And I think it's an error. I think it's completely opposite and should be. If you want to paint in one way, just keep going in that way. Try to be yourself. Try to don't be the copy of more painters. So we were talking a little bit about the hobby, the experience, my career, the therapy, which one means the miniature for a lot of you. I hope you love it. I hope you met me a little bit more. And for sure, see you in the next part of the video. So have fun painting and see you soon. We are close to Mexico. Always I'm saying the same with some series. Have you watched Breaking Bad? Have you seen the series when they moved to Mexico that they use like a yellow filter? Okay, this filter, it's the same filter that some movies use for the night. They film during the day and they use the blue filter to represent that they are in the night. Because if you have exactly the real night, probably it's like a Game of Thrones. Can you remember that kind of battle? Like nobody saw anything? Terrible, right? This is the real night. That's the problem. So we need to fix it. Because if you don't have light, you don't have color.
pieces going to be in here in the museum?
I think more than 40. Some horror movies started like that, right?
Go first.
No, you first, you first. Are you sure we have to join? I'm scared. I'm scared. This is the new museum.
The other room is basically the tavern room.
The very cosmopolitan museum. We are in the t-shirt. Ay, qué rico. John, this is part of the miniature history. Do you want to say something before to leave the museum? Maybe you want to say, ay, qué rico. This room, they want to create like a big diorama in all these sections. So all that in the future will be just with a big diorama.
So we'll be needing people to do that.
He's making the videos, not me. So he's the magician with the videos. I'm paying really high. Remember, I invite him for Walmart. I don't have more money. Here on this background, you will see all the videos from our channel, from YouTube. There, this is part of the museum. So there, all this full videos of YouTube. So see the views from the museum. So there you have Las Vegas with all the casinos, all the hotels, and here in Las Vegas, we'll have this incredible museum. So this is a unique opportunity to share our knowledge, our community, our hobby, our miniatures with the rest of the world.
I hope that you can get an idea of what Gary's vision is. Again, keep an eye out on all of our social media for announcements, especially with the building of the diorama type stuff, because we will need community members' help. And I hope that this allowed you to get an idea of what we're doing here at Burkos Fall.
Thank you.
My experience has been excellent. I'm learning so much about the techniques that Sergio uses and what I've been doing wrong to date and how to correct that. And the feedback has been very valuable.
It's been a good experience. Having a 3-day workshop really lets you dive into some details that you wouldn't have otherwise.
37 divided by 3 plus 15. Take the square root.
How many colors has the rainbow?
All of them. Oh man, I like all the colors. That's why I paint. I love teal.
I like green. I like all greens. I love the new growth on trees every spring. I love that deep winter look of conifer needles. I love the desaturated greens of moss. I love all greens.
Said, oh my god, Sergio Calvo is doing a class.
How was the play?
Terrible. It started with where is the plane, then it became where is the pilot, then it became where is the plane, then it became where is the exit, then it became where is the pilot.
That is my friend. He's the one who I told to come along with me here. I bought the plane tickets, so it's on me at the end of the day.
But besides that, I'm having a great time.
So how many unpainted minis do you have at home?
We're not going to talk about that. That is a very personal question.
I call it my mountain of shame. I run Warhammer for some local wargaming shops where I live. They pay me in store credit, so it just adds to my pile of shame.
Do you like to drink while painting?
Oh, usually just have water on the side.
Water?
Yeah.
Does it have water? Okay.
Yeah. Most people like vodka, but I prefer water.
I would recommend going to as many as you can. They are concentrated, hours-long learning sessions where you get to just focus on that interest and that hobby. You know, really just harnessing or really just soaking in all the knowledge that you get without distractions usually. And go to as many different instructors as you can, and then filter it down into what you pick up those techniques and those things that you like, and that's what I recommend.
I was really surprised. Sergio is actually very funny. Just a little different from Patreon. See? So it's actually a really nice atmosphere.
What do I think about Sergio? I think he's really funny.
Probably is the best group of students that I have in Las Vegas in 2025.
So like with Sergio's painting, I really appreciate the fact that he uses the airbrush for display painting. So that's something I wanted to start being able to incorporate into my painting.
And I've been following Sergio for about a year at this point. We bought the ticket that night, and then it sold out the next day, so we got close.
I've done like oil painting, but not this kind of painting.
She has a lot more art training than I do.
Yeah, which does not. We have a small apartment. There's limited room for hobbies, so we have to share. Maybe I'd try a different color palette at the next one. Demon Souls mode, with picking different colors that he's using.
It's so different watching online, comparing it with your own eyes than having the professional tell you what's...
Yeah.
Sometimes I can tell something's wrong here, but I don't know what it is.
Very relaxed, very informative. He's a great teacher. He makes a point of getting to know your name. Feels like he knows you. I really appreciate that he's able to look over you and see how you're holding your brush, and critique you from there.
Well, I've watched a lot of Sergio's tutorials to have him on hand to actually answer questions and sort of hear a bit more of the logic behind a lot of the stuff he does. To my son, hey Quinn, I'll give you a beautiful smile.
Just come to support George. Sergio is great, but it's really just gotta support.
He's even better than me, right?
Yeah.
Probably my favourite painter, and you're the reason why I'm painting.
The thing is, you have to find Sergio's miniatures. If you find Sergio's miniature, you will have a mini point or a bonus.
It's over there. He's over there. He's over there.
So quickly. Have you?
This is one of my favorite ones. A Kaha. No. Matt DiPietro's Homecoming. It's a likeness of his brother. It looks like his brother, but it's a farmer who's coming home from war. And he's coming home. So here's the pitchfork, vines. There were more vines before, and it's a sword. And if you look at the face, it's just sadness.
Marcus Phoenix, you do like video games, huh?
I love
So some of the best stuff, unfortunately, is packed.
It's overwhelming. There's so much to see around every corner.
Have you ever been here?
No, this is my first time. Yeah.
What have you seen that you like?
I've seen so many of these online, so it's a little surreal to see them in person. They look great online, but when you see them in person, the detail and just the color, they're so vivid. It's pretty incredible.
Show me something.
There's a Spira Mirabilis model back in the corner, the gnome. There's some people in the way.
Okay.
I'll show you. And that's
Okay.
one wet lab. I didn't get that model because that was before I started collecting. So it's really cool to see it in person.
Have you seen the original room?
The what?
The original room?
No. Back here? Just amazing. I just have to check my pulse, take a breath, because I would like to spend an hour or 5 at each cabinet. I go, because Arnold keeps blowing his line.
No. So probably this is the most interesting moment of the workshop. I'm going to give away my own miniature.
The first time.
This is so crazy, man. One of the best restaurants in Las Vegas.